Nope, sir.
Good morning.
Anu ma'am, are you there?
Good morning, Soumya ma'am.
Hi, how are
Hi,
you?
hi, I'm good. How are you? I'm good, I'm
Great,
good.
Yes,
good.
sir.
So how's your convocation going on?
It's at 4 o'clock, ma'am.
Oh, it's at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's online
नहीं तो वो
convocation,
तो उधर से हो रहा
We
है ना.
had to do it online.
Has to be. There's
Yeah.
no option.
As student, we can't make students wait for COVID
अच्छा
to
अच्छा
get
तो भी
over.
चालू कर दिया.
Yeah. I
Yes.
think we have couple of our students here.
नहीं
Yeah.
आप तो टीम लीडर यूज नहीं
Shubhakant,
कर रहे
Supriya, you all are there, right?
ना. उस
Jyotirmay.
होस्ट कहाँ से हो रहा
Yes,
है? होस्ट
ma'am.
उधर से है ना.
Yeah.
Good morning. Right. Great.
इधर से.
Morning, ma'am.
Has Manish sir joined? I'm waiting for his.
ठीक है नो
Okay,
प्रॉब्लम.
Anup sir is there. Gautam sir is there. Marujit is there. Okay. Subhanshu is there. Devash is there. No, ma'am, I'm just waiting for Manish sir to join so
Yeah.
that we can start it right away.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, you can put a reminder, I think, also.
I have already, I just now messaged Manish sir
Manish sir
before.
is coming. Just he called me, so he's
Yeah,
coming.
yeah, yeah. He is there, I know.
Yeah.
I think he is facing different conditions, so he
Maybe in
join,
the
but
group,
then he should be here.
our group.
Yeah, yeah. Let me just put a reminder in the group. Okay, so Manish sir will be joining us at any moment. He's just taking a bit longer, maybe due to connection issues. Let's wait for him another 2 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, sure. How is COVID situation there, ma'am?
Ma'am, unexpectedly it is increasing. This should not be the phase to where the count should be increasing, but we have lot of migrants coming from different states, and
Mm-hmm.
they were actually not here during the first and the second and the third phase. So
Okay.
perhaps right now it's very unfortunate, but Odisha is on a rising streak. Very unfortunate. We were not expecting this because government was very strict from day one, and the lockdown was really very stringent in Odisha, but we never expected. But then, what to do?
And Maharashtra is always on top, so it's there.
No, but right now I think Delhi has crossed you at number one.
Yeah, we
So
are
I
giving
think
tough.
Maharashtra situation is improving. What I got to
Yeah.
know,
Yes.
comparatively, I'm saying
Comparative.
comparatively. See, life is not going to be same anymore. We
Mm.
have to deal with it. But I think situation is will take some time, but it will be definitely
I
under
think
control. We are just
recovery rate
uh,
increasing day by day, I think.
Yeah, recovering
increasing
is
day by
also there.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Manish
I
sir is
mean,
there, I think.
Yeah.
Manish sir is there?
Manish,
Yes.
Manish Sharma sir.
Yes, yes, yes. Manish sir, very good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. So we can just kickstart off the event. We can start it right away. I think our students who are going to present today, they are there already. Please have a check in the participants list. I think most of them are there. I've also put a reminder in the group. Let's say if others can join also.
Ma'am, how you're conducting your exams then online?
Yes, it's
Yes.
completely online. Completely online. We are also taking the help of LMS in order to invigilate the students, but
Mm-hmm.
then we don't have any other option.
Option, yeah.
because couple of zones in Bhubaneswar are under containment, and the students who are coming from other districts, even those districts are completely under lockdown. So they cannot come. They are not
Oh.
able to. So we don't have any other option.
Good news is that we are about to finish our exam.
Yes.
Okay. Good, good. Fortunately, we had already finished our exams, and one more
Yeah, this is
exam.
our second phase.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the second phase we are running. It will be over by 30th. For that reason, ma'am, I was a little apprehensive when we were supposed to conduct it last week. No, at that point of time, exams were running in full speed. So that was the first phase online exam which was going on. So I was not sure whether students will be comfortable or not. So for that reason, Manish
Okay.
sir, can we start?
We can start.
Manish sir? Oh, I think Manish sir disconnected again.
I think Monis's laptop has some problem, so that's why.
Oh, he can join via phone if somebody can just. It will be better if he gets connected on phone. Anup sir, you are already there on the laptop, so not a problem. Just a minute, let me ask Manish sir.
Yeah, Monis is visible.
हाँ सर के मनीष सर चालू करते हैं फिर मैम
Yeah.
you will be starting with the
Yeah,
introduction.
I'll be starting. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay. So shall we
Can I
start?
request everybody to please
Mute.
disable their videos in case there's a network issue, so at least somebody who is speaking can only enable their videos and speaker. Let's all get muted. Will it be okay?
Yeah, that will be okay, ma'am.
Okay. Fine.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, one and all. With great joy, I welcome the entire faculty, fraternity, and students of C.V. Raman College of Engineering, Bhubaneswar, and also the D.Y. Patil University entire team. We are fortunate to be joined by faculty of C.V. Raman College of Engineering, Dr. Soumya Mishra, Nodal Officer AICTE, along with other EBSB coordinator colleagues, Dr. Debashish Ghosh, Dr. Anup Kundu, Mr. Manish Kumar Sharma, Dr. Kalinga Simanta, Dr. Gautam Rana, Mr. Nikhil Senwal, Dr. Rahul Burman. A hearty welcome to you all. From DY Patil Vidyapeeth, I have my faculty colleagues and EBSB coordinators, Dr. Meenal Vani, who is professor from DY Patil Institute of Biotechnology and Bioinformatics, Mr. Vilas Pawar, Mrs. Revati Raut Rao, Mr. Smarjit Das, and Ms. Akansha Mehta from MBA Institute. Today we have come together under the mission by AICTE, that is Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, the matrix between the state of Maharashtra and Odisha. The objective is aligned with the EBSB mission also for us, that is to instill the spirit of national integration through the deep and structured engagements to showcase rich culture, heritage, and traditions. Also to create an environment which promotes the learning between the students of both the institutes by sharing the best practices and experiences. To embark upon this venture today through the Zoom meeting, we are celebrating the culture exchange where both the institutes students are going to introduce and present the Maharashtra and Odisha culture to each other. To start with, let me quickly introduce our university. Dr. D.Y. Patil Vidyapeeth Pune had an humble beginning with one institute under its fold. Over the last 14 years, it has been grown leaps and bounds with addition of 9 more professional institutes. Today, the 9 institutions of Dr. D.Y. Patil Vidyapeeth Pune have created a brand name, DPU, in the field of medical dentistry, nursery, physiotherapy, optometry, biotechnology, and management, including the Institute of Distance Learning, Ayurveda, and Homeopathy. Today, we both institutes are presenting here, that is Biotechnology and Management Institute. These 9 institutes are providing quality education to about 4,500 students. In NRF 2020 ranking, DPU is 46th in university ranking, 3rd in dental, and 24th in medical category. Dr. D.Y. Patil University, where we are presenting two institutes, Global Business School and Research Center, which is offering the program of MBA, BBA, and PhD in the Faculty of Management, and Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Biotechnology and Bioinformatics, who are offering the degree of BTech, MTech, and MSc in biotechnology field. Of course, we are located in Maharashtra, and to talk about Maharashtra, Maharashtra is blessed with a rich and diversified culture heritage. The distinct mix of cultures are shaping the Maharashtrians to lead into the path of prosperity, into the land of prosperity. Even though the state is progressing in terms of modernization, still the people follow their age old traditions and customs. The land is known as the land of warriors. Our students will run through the presentation to show a glimpse of Maharashtra culture in for the presentation. Now, may I request C.V. Raman College of Engineering to quickly introduce their campus as well.
Manish sir, are the students ready?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you. And ma'am, myself, I am Manish Kumar Sharma. I am an assistant professor in the Department of Electrical Energy in C.V. Raman Global University. And actually, what are this that our college started with C.V. Raman College of Engineering in 1997. Okay, it's almost 20 years, above 20 years old. And right now we are offering programs in all that management, diploma, engineering, and also we have a very active center of excellence from our part from the Bosch, Siemens, SU Drives, Knight Electric. So even if you will see that the first means any medal in the world skills was won from our college this time. We have won the gold medal in the world skill which held in Kaizen in 2019. Okay, right now in just 29th February 2020 itself, we got the status of the deemed university. We are now known as C.V. Raman Global University. Prior to that, we are having different parts, but now we are deemed university. And ma'am, this is a short introduction I have given, and rest of the introduction for our college will be given by our students. And as you know, we are having 7 faculty coordinators associated with this Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat Club, which is headed by our head coordinator Soumya Mishra ma'am. And the rest information, I guess our students will provide it very nicely, and also they will also make you walk through Odisha very well.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
So, okay, so shall we go ahead with the presentation on Maharashtra culture? So we have the student Snehal Kaloke and Aishwarya Shelar, who will take us through the Maharashtra culture. So I request Aishwarya to share the slides if you. Snehal Kaloke, just say hi so that people can see who is.
Morning to all of you. Hi.
Good morning.
Is it visible to all?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, you are good.
Ma'am, shall I start?
Yes.
Namaskar all of you. I'm Snehal Kaloke, and today I'm going to represent the tradition and culture of Maharashtra. I hope you all will understand and like the culture of Maharashtra. As we all know that India is the home for many religions. There are many religions in Maharashtra also. People live together happily, and words will fall short to describe Maharashtra's culture. But then also I will give a short try that united we stand, divided we fall, stronger we grow, higher we flow. The state works together with other states to make India proud and shine. So here in the Maharashtra, there are greetings like when we meet someone for the first time, then while showing respect to the particular person, we say namaskar or namaste. This is the formal greeting which we use in Maharashtra. Also, when there are few casual greetings, like when we meet our friends, or when we meet the people who are well known to us, then we use greetings like Ram Ram, Ram Krishna Hari. These are the greetings which are especially used in rural Maharashtra, and it's a part of our culture. Now, moving towards the uh, food culture of Maharashtra. When it comes to food, not only Maharashtra but the people around the world are crazy for food, and here we Maharashtrians are really very foodie people. No? So the traditional dish of Maharashtra is Puran Poli. Many of you must be known about this. Puran Poli is nothing but the sweet flatbread which is served along with butter, or we can say ghee. This is the dish which is mostly made on the special occasions like festival, etc. Now moving towards the our meals. Normally here in the Maharashtra, we eat a full square meal in our lunch and dinner, which consists of varan, bhat means rice, then chapati bhakri, that means roti, bhaji, that means sabzi, and along with some pickles, sauces, papad, buttermilk, etc. This is the whole meal which which we consume on daily basis. Uh, as I said, that here in the Maharashtra, street food is very famous, and we Maharashtrians love to eat all kind of food, like from sweet to mildly spicy to spicy. But spicy food is a bit favorite of all Maharashtrians. Some of the dishes like vada pav, misal pav, pani puri, then pav bhaji. These are the few dishes which are not only famous in Maharashtra but all over the India and all over the world. If we talk about some special Maharashtra originated dishes, then we can talk about kande pohe, sol kadi, shrikhand, bharli wangi. These are the few dishes, and there is one more dish known as modak. Here in Maharashtra, we offered modak to Lord Ganesha during the festival of Ganesh Chaturthi. It is said that this is the favorite food of Lord Ganesha. Now, moving to the beauty of our nature or dressing culture of our Maharashtra. Here in the Maharashtra, men are supposed to wear dhoti, or they wear dhoti in rural India, rural Maharashtra. Dhoti, which is mostly a white long garment which is wrapped around waist and legs. Also, men wear cotton shirt or kurta on top, and they wear feta or topi as their headwear. This is the complete costume for men's, and for women's it is choli or blouse on top, and basically in generally we all know 6-yard sari, that is known as Sawari sari in Maharashtra. But the tradition of Maharashtra is the speciality is female or women's use to wear 9-yard sari, which is long sari, 9-yard sari, which is known as Nawari sari in Maharashtra. But what happened in nowadays in 21st century, people have shifted from dhoti to paijama, and Nawari sari to Sawari sari, that is a 6-yard sari, which is well known in all over India. In 21st century, there people are also started wearing like Western wears, which includes jeans, top, shorts, one piece, etc. That we all know. Why also there is a picture here you can see in first picture there is a couple who wore a complete Brahmin costume, and headwear of the men is known as Puneri Pagdi, which is very special here in Pune. And this pagdi is also used to honor someone in some important functions or events in Maharashtra. And this Puneri pagdi has its own tradition and importance in Maharashtra. In the second picture, there is a couple which is basically from the fishermen's community in Maharashtra. Those people are also known as Koli people, and they wear such kind of attire. Now moving towards the rituals of Maharashtra, as we all know, all over the India, there are different regions and people from different religions. They follow their own traditional rituals. Likewise, here in Maharashtra also, from birth of an individual to his death, there are many rituals followed for his happy and successful life. Uh, in Maharashtra, most of the rituals are happy rituals. Like we all know, wedding for people in Maharashtra is very important function, or we can say a very important moment in their life. So this wedding function is followed by many rituals like haldi ceremony, Gauri Har Puja, Antarpat ritual, Kanyadan ritual, Saptapadi ritual, then Karma Sampatti ritual, Varat, Gruha Pravesh. These are all rituals followed by Maharashtrians in their wedding. Now moving to the next ritual, that is baby shower, which is known as Dohale Jevan in Marathi. Maharashtrian has unique way or unique tradition to show love for the baby and mother, and basically this ritual is carried out to offer food for mom and baby's craving. This is one of the happiest ritual in Maharashtra. Then while moving ahead, there is also a naming ceremony of newly born baby. This function is basically known as Namakaran in Marathi language. It is performed to select newborn's name using traditional methods and following the astrological rules of name. This is the happy ritual in this one of the happy ritual in which generally the whole family comes together to celebrate the birth of a child. This is all of these are the few happy rituals from Maharashtra. Now here we all can see some glimpse from rural Maharashtra, that we all can see the women are engaged in their daily life chaos. Like in first picture we can see women are going to their respected farm or field to carry out all their agriculture practices. In second picture we can see they are collecting and carrying their wooden fuel to blow their chulhas on daily basis. In third picture there is rice cultivation in Maharashtra. And the last picture is about manual making of masalas. Now moving ahead, as we all know, Maharashtra is famous. Maharashtra is the home for all the religion. Here people, most of the population speak Marathi. Marathi is the language of Maharashtra. But there are some people from different religion who speak both the languages like Hindi, Marathi, and most of them can speak English also. English is the professional or official language in Maharashtra. I would like to tell you all that here in the first picture, it is written in Marathi that Labale amhas bhagya boloto Marathi, which means we are fortunate that we speak Marathi and it is our pride. The second picture is about Devanagari script, like ABCD in English, alphabets of English. Likewise, it's script in Marathi. Then, while moving ahead, the entertainment media of ancient Maharashtra is folk dance and its music, Maharashtrian music, which is not only famous in Maharashtra but also all over the world. These dance forms include like Lavani dance, Koli dance, Povada dance. Lavani dance is performed by beautiful women, and the costume for Lavani is compulsory, that they have to wear Nawari sari. As I told that it is tradition of Maharashtra that women wear 9-yard long sari. The Lavani dance form showcases many topics like romance, politics, tragedy, society. And this word is derived from Marathi word that is Lavanya, which means that beauty. So this is the form which is very famous for entertainment Then this is the second one is Koli dance, which is originated from fishermen's society, and the purpose of this dance form is just to entertain all Maharashtrian people. Then while moving to the third dance form, that is Povada, which shows patriotism towards Maharashtra, and it is Povada dance has its unique tradition to represent all the achievements of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, who was the Maratha ruler. Here in the there is a movie, Marathi movie, which names Me Shivaji Raje Bhosle Boltoy. In that movie, there is a povada based on the incident when Shivaji Maharaj defeated Aurangzeb at his place, and that povada is very famous in Maharashtra and all over the India. Then while moving to the Maharashtrian music has an Asian tradition that the popularity of classical music in Maharashtra began through the Gwalior. The town in Sangli district, that is Miras town, is known as town of music. The folk songs are inseparable part of the daily lives of the rural Maharashtra, like folk forms like Lavani, Nautanki, Tamasha. These were very famous medium of entertainment in Maharashtra. Now, moving to the festivals of Maharashtra. Festivals is the best reason for all Maharashtrians to come together and celebrate their unity and togetherness. As we all know that Maharashtra is a big state, and it is also home for many religions. All people celebrate all kind of festival irrespective of their religion. This is the beauty of Maharashtra. If we talk about some Maharashtra originated like festivals, then we can talk about Shivaji Jayanti. This festival is celebrated in honor of Shivaji Maharaj, and there is some drama, music, dance takes place during this festival. Second is Vata Purnima. This is the festival of Maharashtrian women. On the occasion of this festival, women pray for the same husband for every birth, and they also pray for their long lives of their husband. Then third one is Gudi Padwa. It is nothing but the festival which is celebrated on the occasion of Marathi New Year. When it starts, this festival takes place. Then again there is a Palki festival, which is followed by Varkari Sampradaya in Maharashtra. During this festival, they perform collectively, singing, dancing, chanting, and the holy town of Pandharpur. This is a town of Lord Vitthal. Diwali, as we all know, because Diwali is celebrated all over India, and this is festival of light. And again, Ganesh Chaturthi, of course, it is very famous and popular festival in Maharashtra. It is an 11-day festival, and we all Maharashtrian enjoy this festival thoroughly. This is the festival of Lord Ganesha. Then there are many festivals like Holi, when we while Holika Dahan, we burn all evil spirit or negativity and pray for the positive vibes. And here is the festival known as Pola in Maharashtra. This festival is celebrated for the bulls, the farmers. It is a farmers' festival. The bulls who work throughout the year for farmers to carry out their all agricultural practices. On this occasion, farmers decorate their bulls, and the festival is celebrated likewise. There are other festivals like Nag Panchami, Dasera, Makar Sankranti, Shri Krishna Janmashtami, Narali Purnima, which is known as Raksha Bandhan also, and we all know this is the beautiful festival in which we celebrate the relationship between brother and sister. So here, this was some. It was some glimpse from Maharashtra culture, and now further I would like to hand over to Aishwarya.
Well, namaste all of you. Today I am here to tell about more related to our Maharashtrian culture. So we all see this is the value. Maharashtra, or the land of Marathas, produce a large number of sants, and it has a more social and cultural history. There are many famous sants such as Sant Jnaneshwar, Sant Namdev, Sant Eknath, Sant Tukaram, and Ramdas are the most prominent. Sant Jnaneshwar. Sant Jnaneshwar is one of the famous poet, philosopher, and yogi. In his short life of 21 years, he authored Jnaneshwari and Amrutanubhav. Sant Tukaram. Sant Tukaram was born in Dehu. He is known for his devotional poetry called Abhanga, and community-oriented worship with spiritual songs known as Kirtan. It is devoted to the Lord Vithala. We all see some pictures of more famous Sant in Maharashtra, such as Sant Namdev, Sant Eknath, Sri Gajanan Maharaj, Sri Ramdas, Samartha Ramdas, Sant Sri Sai Baba. Now, moving to the another, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was a great warrior and founder of the Maratha Empire. His skills as an administrator were legendary. He is also known as a very sensible king. He was a very heroic personality and one-man army of Indian history. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj is also known as a management guru. He gives us a very important knowledge and lessons related to the management, not only in Maharashtra but also in the other country. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj is very famous for his knowledge or talent. He raised a strong army and navy, and that's why he is also known as the father of the Indian Navy. Today, also all people of Maharashtra worship him like a god, and we all Maharashtrians are feel very proud when we tell something about the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Maharashtra is also known as a Karma Bhumi because of some people sacrifices their life and done a lot for the Maharashtra and the people of the Maharashtra. For example, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar is the one who framed Indian Constitution and emancipator of Dalits. Next, Jyotiba Rao Phule. His work extended to many fields, including eradication of untouchability, the caste system, women's emancipation. His wife, Savitribai Phule, is the first Indian lady teacher. I want to say something more about this couple. That is, Jyotiba Rao Phule and Savitribai Phule started India's first school for girls in 1848 at Bhimwada, Pune. Today, we all girls can take education in every field and we can do anything that we want to do. It is just because of this couple. And Dr. Anandibai Joshi is the first Indian lady doctor, and Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak is known as father of Indian unrest. Then heritage. Maharashtra is a rich history. Most of the forts in Maharashtra were built by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and his Maratha Empire. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj had 370 forts in all over the India, and among them there are some forts which are present in the Maharashtra, such as Shivneri Fort. Shivneri Fort it is located at the Junnar, Pune. It is the birthplace of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Next, Raigad Fort. Raigad Fort is the capital of Maratha Empire at the era of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Next, Sinhagad Fort. Sinhagad Fort was initially known as Kondhana. The recently very famous movie Tanaji is all related to this fort. In this movie, all the history shown by actor Ajay Devgan, who played the role of Tanaji Malusare. Tanaji sacrifices prompted Shivaji Maharaj to remark, "Gad ala pan Sinha gela." It means we got the fort but lost the lion. In this, the lion is the Tanaji Malusare, and this is how the fort name was changed to the Sinhagad Fort. Next, Pratapgarh Fort. Pratapgarh Fort was located at the Mahabaleshwar, Satara. It is a very important fort as the major fight with Afzal Khan took place. Next, this is also very famous and important forts in Maharashtra. Rajgarh Fort, which is located at Pune. Murud Janjira Fort. Murud Janjira Fort is located in the middle of sea, and it has a secret path to rescue. And it also this is also this is only known by the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and his Maratha Empire. सुवर्णदुर्ग फोर्ट दापोली, सिंधुदुर्ग फोर्ट मालवण, पन्हाळा फोर्ट कोल्हापूर, लोहगड फोर्ट लोणावळा, पुरंदर फोर्ट पुणे, तिकोना फोर्ट लोणावळा, विजयदुर्ग फोर्ट विजयदुर्ग, दौलताबाद फोर्ट औरंगाबाद, तोरणा फोर्ट पुणे. This all the forts have their own history by the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and Maratha Empire. Then moving towards the caves, Maharashtra has an extraordinary and deep-rooted history that is ultimately tied to its geography. Some of these living heritage can be seen in the form of the monuments, while other deep, dark, and mysterious secrets are unearthed in caves. Only in Maharashtra, we can find around 800 large, small, and some concealed within hills Buddhist caves. These are the some important caves which are found in Maharashtra. Ajanta caves, Ellora caves, and Elephanta caves are UNESCO World Heritage Site. Here is the Ajanta caves. Ajanta caves is located at the Aurangabad, Maharashtra. The Ajanta caves are approximately 30 rock Buddhist caves monuments. Then second picture is the Ellora caves. Ellora caves is also found in Aurangabad, Maharashtra. It's featuring Hindu, Buddhist, and Jain monuments and artwork. Now, it is the first picture is the Kanhari caves. Kanhari caves is located at Mumbai, Maharashtra. It is in the Sanjay Gandhi National Park. Next, second is the Elephanta caves. It is located at the Gharapuri, Maharashtra. It is a collection of cave temples dedicated to the Hindu god Shiva. These are the another famous Maharashtra caves which are present in the Maharashtra, such as Karla caves, Bhaja caves, Bedse caves, Lenyadri caves, Pandavleni caves, Mandapeshwar caves. Then moving towards the other historical places in Maharashtra. India has always been known for its rich heritage and culture, and Maharashtra is one such a state whose name always pops up when you mention history. And such cities in Maharashtra like Mumbai, Pune, Nagpur, Aurangabad, Nashik, etc. are more famous for a historical places. Moving towards the Gateway of India. The Gateway of India is located at the Mumbai. It is one of the best example of British architectural style. It took about 4 years to complete this monument's construction. Second picture is Shaniwar Wada. It is located at Pune. Shaniwar Wada is built in 1732. It was the seat of Peshwas of the Maratha Empire until 1818. Next picture is the Bibika Maqbara, which is located at the Aurangabad. Bibika Maqbara built in 1668, and it's been the spitting image of the Taj Mahal. Another is the New Palace, Kolhapur. The New Palace is also known as a Shahu Palace. It is located in Bawda, Kolhapur. It is built using polished stone, and it has been attraction for tourists. These are another historical places which attracts the tourism to the Maharashtra, such as Aga Khan Palace, Pune, Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus, Mumbai. It is also one of the best example of the British architectural style. Rajabai Clock Tower, Mumbai, Ambarnath Shivalaya, Ambarnath, Tomb of Salabat Khan, Ahmednagar, Mount Mary Church, Mumbai. There are also many temples are available present in the Maharashtra, which are from the many years ago, such as Mahalakshmi Temple in Kolhapur, Trambakeshwar Temple in Nashik, Sai Baba Temple in Shirdi. These are the more famous and important historical places which are present in Maharashtra. Now, this is the important institute in Maharashtra, the NDA, which means National Defense Academy, which located at Khadakwasla, Pune. National Institute of Virology (NIV). This is also located in Pune, and National Stock Exchange of India Limited. It means NSE. It is located at Mumbai. Thank you, all of you. That was the glimpse of Maharashtra culture. I hope you all understood and liked the Maharashtra culture. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Snehal and Aishwarya. That was a lovely presentation, and we got to receive a lot of information. Thank you so much for putting up such a great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
ma'am.
Okay, so now we'll be going ahead with C.V. Raman College of Engineering students will be presenting a walkthrough Odisha.
Okay, Shubhakant.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just start. Introduce and then we will proceed to the PPT.
Yes, sir. सर मेरा थोड़ा नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम है, मैं वीडियो ऑन नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ. Am I
No
fine with
problem.
the
No
audio?
problem, no
issue.
problem,
No
no
issue.
problem.
As far as a very good afternoon to all the faculty members of both the respective institutes and my fellow colleagues of Ek Bharat, Swasth Bharat Abhijan. Today, a very golden opportunity has been given to me to speak about my institute, C.V. Raman College of Engineering. C.V. Raman is the name of the Nobel laureate India. We know that C.V. Raman College of Engineering was established in 1997. From the 20 years of experience and complete hard work of all the faculty members, students, and management has proved that the glimpse and the rise it has been shown till now is just because of all the hard work and coordination as far as possible. Our institute is one of the most reputed institute of the state. This provides many undergraduate, postgraduate, and masters in MBA, bachelors in technology, masters in technology, and diplomas, plus some postgraduate non-technical studies like MScs, computer science, etc., etc. And as sir has already told that our senior, Mr. Aswastha Narayan, who won the gold medal in National Olympiad, which is also called the World Skill Competition, has shown a big glory to our college. And in 2020, 29th February, our college has got a new title or achieved a new acclus- acc- acclom- ac- accom- acclom- ac- acclaimed a new position as a global university and showed that we can achieve anything with a very pretty hard work. We are having two centers of excellence. One is robotics and another one is a BOS. The major industries participating in the competitions and providing us the maximum supports are BOS, Semen, and Scavengers. Even our institute promotes scholarships to those students who are good in studies or who are unable to complete their studies because of some economical problems. Our institute is been recommended as global university as it promotes the brotherhood among all the countries present, as some foreign students are also the major participants and major active peoples of our college. And the scholarships that have been governed to us is through BPUT, Biju Patnaik University of Technologies. And nowadays, we are all, due to all the hard work and cooperation, our college is helping us out in managing all kinds of social activities like blood donation camps and some charity programs, which will help in growing and help our students to sponsor many programs just like technical fest, cultural fest, which gives our student a maximum of a maximum exposure to all the participating students and to grow and achieve new goals. Today, our institute has ranked 5 as far as all the Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes.
I think there's a technical glitch. Subhakant, just shift a bit wherever you are sitting. Just shift a bit. Probably in that particular area, there's some network issue.
Yes, ma'am.
Or it might be me as well. I would like to ask everybody: is he audible? Clearly?
There's slight, lag in the audio.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Yes,
Shubham,
ma'am.
can you please shift a bit, or you can just change your location? You can go to another room if possible, or you can just go to the terrace if possible. I mean, whatever suits you the best. Please be comfortable
Yes,
because you have
ma'am.
to present. So,
Yes, ma'am. I'm already in the most appropriate place where I can speak.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
no
you are
problem.
correct now. You can be audible
Yes,
clearly now.
ma'am.
Good.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Continue.
Our institute has governed a lot of programs, just like World Skill. It's been sponsored. Our institute is one of the first institute in our Odisha state which has governed the world, which has sponsored the World Skill, for sponsors students for participating in World Skill to achieve new competitive goals, and it's still growing. Global Institute makes only the name grow, but our institute has made us grow every day possible. Our institute has made us more competitive, more accurate in achieving our goals. With this, I remain. Thank you.
Thank you, Shubham. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Okay,
Yes, Shubham.
Shubhakant, you can start your PPT.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, sir. Hello.
Yeah, Shubhakant, you have to share the screen. Below, can you see there is a option called as share screen?
Ma'am,
Hello.
he has already presented before. He knows perhaps, but I think there is some technical problem.
Anybody else
Uh,
has a presentation, they can share the screen and he can present it.
that will be wise. So, Priya,
Anwarix,
do you have the presentation?
ma'am, you need to allow him to share.
It's already allowed for all
Check.
participants, sir. It's showing some message, Shubhakant, that you're not allowed. Maybe if Manish sir has the presentation, you can share the screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, Shubhakant.
Yes, Shubhakant.
Yes, ma'am. वो मैं बोल देता हूँ.
Shubhakant, are you sharing? Or should I share?
Yes, sir. Shubha Prakash.
Where is he, Shubhakant?
Sir, he's sharing.
Shubha Prakash.
Is he there?
Okay, Shubhakant, I have shared. Please start from this. Okay, I am not finding Shubha Prakash. I am not finding him. He is not here.
Okay, sir. I will start.
Okay.
A walk through Odisha. Odisha is one of the eastern states of our country. It has a long history of battles, wars, which has been seen and has been suffered a lot of misery through this. कहते हैं कि जब ये स्टेट बनने शुरू हुआ था या फिर जब इस स्टेट का नाम कलिंगा था, तब इसने काफी सारे जंग देखे हैं. One of the most famous wars that Odisha has ever seen is Kalinga War. Lot of death and miseries. कहते हैं उड़ीसा का राजाओं ने उस पर राज किया था. कई राजाओं ने इसका अलग अलग तरह से फायदा उठाया, कई लोगों ने इसको अलग तरह से ट्रेड सेंटर बनाया और कई तरह से इसको अलग अलग बेनिफिशियरीज के लिए यूज किया. लेकिन जब कलिंगा के राजा को हराकर हमारे खुद के राजा अनंत वर्मन चड़गंगद बने इसको अचीव किया, तब से लेके ब्रिटिश रूल तक इसको हम कलिंगा ही बुलाते थे. फिर जब ब्रिटिश शासन शुरू हुआ, तब से इसका नाम, इसको एक अलग पार्ट बनाया गया जिसमें इसको 30 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स और 26 ऐसे लिंग्विस्टिक राज्यों को मिलाकर बनाया था, डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स को मिलाकर बनाया था. कहते हैं उड़ीसा एक शब्द जो कि संस्कृत शब्द से आया है जिसका नाम है ओद्रा विषय या ओद्रा देशा, which means land of cultivators और कृषियों का देश. कहते हैं जब यहाँ के लोगों ने काम करना शुरू किया तो वो शुरुआत में कृषि ही थे. वो दो अलग अलग वर्ग के कृषि थे. उनमें से एक वर्ग का नाम ओदास था, दूसरे का नाम चसास था. ये दोनों डिविजन्स ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ देयर मेथोडोलॉजीज यूज्ड इन कल्टीवेशन में हुआ था. कहते हैं जब उनका अलग अलग वेज ऑफ कल्टीवेशन शुरू हुआ तब उन्होंने डिवीजन शुरू किया था. दे वर द मेजर पार्ट ऑफ दिस सोसाइटी. जब उड़ीसा का नाम अस्तित्व में 1936 में अंग्रेजों ने उड़ीसा के नाम से दिया था, बट आफ्टर इंडिपेंडेंस ऑन 1st April 1948 it has again changed to Odisha. Then from now we have been calling it Odisha. First, Cuttack was its capital under British rule, but after independence, its capital has been changed to Bhubaneswar, which is the city of temples, and it has a long history, which has showed that this place is also called Siddhant Bhaiya to explain about the history of Odisha.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Siddhant Pradhan, and I am here to give a brief idea of history of Odisha. उड़ीसा का इतिहास. भारत के इतिहास के मायनों में उड़ीसा, जो कि उस काल में कलिंगा के नाम से प्रसिद्ध था, उसके राजनीतिक काल और उसके राजनीतिक क्षेत्र में वो बहुत ही विकास और प्रतिबद्ध था. 260 ईसा पूर्व में मौर्य सम्राट अशोक ने कलिंगा पर आक्रमण कर दिया और उस युद्ध को इतिहास के सबसे बड़े युद्धों में से एक माना जाता है और उस युद्ध को कलिंगा युद्ध के नाम से संबोधित किया जाता है. इसी युद्ध के बाद अशोक ने अपने अस्त्र शस्त्र त्याग कर बौद्धिक जीवन जीना शुरू कर दिया था और उन्होंने केवल इंडिया में ही, भारत में ही नहीं बल्कि अन्य देशों में भी जाकर लोगों को शांति और अहिंसावाद का पाठ पढ़ाया. उड़ीसा मुख्यतः अपने प्राचीन मंदिरों के लिए बहुत ही प्रसिद्ध है. यहाँ की 3 मुख्य प्राचीन मंदिरें हैं. श्री जगन्नाथ मंदिर जो कि पुरी में स्थित है, सूर्य मंदिर जो कि कोणार्क में स्थित है तथा लिंगराज मंदिर जो कि भुवनेश्वर में स्थित है. 13वीं तथा 14वीं शताब्दी के काल में जब भारत के अत्यधिक क्षेत्र मुस्लिम समुदाय के अधीन रहते थे, तब स्वतंत्र कलिंगा अपने हिंदू संस्कृति और सभ्यता को बचाए रखे था। 11वीं से लेकर 16वीं शताब्दी तक कलिंगा नाम अपने अस्तित्व में रहा, किंतु वो 11वीं और 16वीं शताब्दी के बीच उसका कलिंगा नाम विलुप्त होने लगा और इसे ओद्र देशा के नाम से जाना जाता था। धीरे धीरे समय के साथ ओद्र देशा उड़ीसा में परिवर्तित हो गया और इसका अंग्रेजी उच्चारण ORIAA से होने लगा, किंतु 21वीं शताब्दी के शुरुआत में ही पुनः ओडिशा को ODISHA में परिवर्तित कर दिया गया। तो यहाँ की मुख्य भाषा ओडिया है, जो कि भारत के संवैधानिक भाषाओं में से एक है। अंतिम में यदि हम उड़ीसा के राजनीतिक इतिहास के बारे में जानना चाहें तो भारत के स्वतंत्रता के पश्चात ही 1950 में उड़ीसा को एक स्वतंत्र राज्य घोषित कर दिया गया था और 1950 से 2000 तक इसमें कांग्रेस सरकार की सत्ता चली। 2000 के बाद जब बीजू जनता दल अपने अस्तित्व में आया तो इसके अधिनायक नवीन पटनायक जी मुख्यमंत्री पद पर सुशोभित हुए और अब तक कार्यरत हैं। That's all I want to tell about history of Odisha. Now I would like to call upon my friend to proceed further. Thank you, everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Supriya Sharma, and today I'm going to describe you about the symbols representing Odisha. The state bird is Indian roller. Indian roller is associated with Hindu legend. It is said to be sacred to Vishnu. A local Hindu name is Nilkant, and the name is associated with the deity of Shiva, who drank the poison, resulting in blue throat. And the neck of the bird is also blue in color. And the state flower is Ashoka. Ashoka is famous for its beauty and fragrant flowers that represent the beauty of our Odisha. And the state tree is Indian fig tree. According to Shatpat Brahman, the Indian fig tree was created from the force of Indra, the leader of the god, that came out of his flesh when he overindulged in sugar. Our state sweet is Rasgulla. Rasgulla is originated in Puri as Kheer Mohana, later evolved into Pahara Rasgulla. It has been traditionally offered as bhog to goddess Lakshmi at Jagannath temple. Our state emblem is Konarka horse. It represents the development of our state. Our state language is Oriya. Oriya is an Eastern Aryan language, and it is the sixth language to be a classical language in India. It is the second official language of Jharkhand. And our state song is Bande Utkara Janani. It is an Odia patriotic poem written by Lakshmikant Mohapatra when Odisha became a state on 1st April 1936. It praised the pride of our Odisha. Our state dance is Odissi. It is a major ancient Indian classical dance that originated in the Hindu temples of Odisha. Our state mammal is Sambar. Sambar is the last year and its population have been declined due to hunting. Now I would like to move towards the subdivisions of Odisha. There are 30 districts in Odisha and there are 3 divisions in our Odisha. Northern Division, Southern Division and Central Division. The headquarters of Northern Division is at Sambalpur, and the headquarters of Southern Division is at Berhampur, and Central Division is at Cuttack. Each division consists 10 districts, and the capital and the largest city is of the state is Bhubaneswar, and the major cities are Cuttack, Rourkela, Berhampur, and Sambalpur. The districts are subdivided into 314 community development blocks. There are 58 subdivisions and 171 tahsils. According to 2001, there was a survey in which we found out there are 51,349 villages and 6,234 Grama Panchayat. Thank you. Within this, I would like to conclude. And now I would like to call Subhranshu Pani to explain geography of Odisha.
Thank you, Supriya. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Subhranshu Pani from Civil Third Year, going to share with you some information about geography of Odisha. First of all, I would like to say you about its areas and climate. Odisha is a state which is located in east side of India. Total area covered by Odisha is 1,55,707 kilometers square, which is 4.74% of area of India. The state is divided into 30 districts, in which Mayurbhanj is considered as largest district and Jagatsinghpur is smallest district by area. Odisha is one of the warmest region with average temperature is 32 degrees Celsius and which is characterized by high rainfall, in which most of the cyclone occur from June to September. The best time is to visit Odisha is between November to May. Now I am going to introduce you all about different rivers flowing through Odisha. First of all, the river Mahanadi. The river Mahanadi is originated from Sihava mountain in Chhattisgarh and flow through major part of Odisha and finally drain into Bay of Bengal. Due to its length, which is 900 kilometers, and drainage area, which is 132,100 kilometers square, it is considered as largest river of Odisha. Hirakud Dam, one of the world's largest earth dam, is built across river Mahanadi. Then comes river Brahmani. This river is formed by mixing of two rivers, the river Sankha and river Koel, and flow through district of Sundargarh, Deogarh, Anugul, Dhenkanal, Cuttack, Jaspur and Kendrapada. After mixing with river Baitarani and forming large delta, it then drains into Bay of Bengal at Dharma. The length of the river is about 480 kilometers and area of 39,033 kilometers square, thus forming second largest river after Mahanadi. Brahmani Delta is famous for Bhitarkanika Wildlife Sanctuary. Then come by the river Baitarani. The river is originated from Gonasika Hills of Keonjhar district, Odisha. The length of the river is 360 kilometers and finally it drains into Bay of Bengal near Chandbali. Then comes the river Subarnarekha River. As name suggests, Subarnarekha River, the line of gold river, originates near Piska village near Ranchi and flow through West Bengal and finally drain into Bay of Bengal near Talsari, Odisha. The length of the river is 395 kilometers. The name is so given because it originates the place where the gold is mined and people even now trace the gold particle in his sandy bed. Then come the river Buddha. This river is originate from Similpara hills of Mayurbhanj district, Odisha. Then it passes through Baripada and Baleshwar district and finally drains into Bay of Bengal. The length of the river is about 175 km and has catchment area of 4,840 km square. And the last river is Rusikulya River. The river is originate from Daringbari hills of Western Ghat range of Daringbari, which is also known as the Kashmir of Odisha, and it covers entire catchment area in the district of Kandhamala and Ganjam of Odisha, and finally meet the Bay of Bengal at Purana Bandha, Ganjam. The river is about 165 km long and has catchment area of 7,700 km square. Then comes plant and animal life. Odisha forests cover near about 1/3 of the state. They are of two types: tropical moist deciduous and tropical dry deciduous. The most common plant that grow in both deciduous are bamboos and common tropical hardwoods such as teak, rosewood, and paduk. Odisha is an inhabitant of many wildlife animals which are protected in parks and sanctuaries established by state and national government. Chilika Lake is one of the most favorite place for migrant of birds and variety of fishes which are coming from different countries. So this is the end of my part Geography of India. I hope you all have enjoyed it. Then I would like to invite my friend Mr. Subprakash for further proceeding. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Subhranshu, for passing the slides. And I am Suprakash Beura from C.V. Raman Global University, in the third year civil branch. And from here, I am going to explain about demography of Odisha. And when it comes to demography, first we have to know about its population distribution. And here in Odisha, the population is approximately about 4 crore and 20 lakhs, in which 50.54% are male and remaining 49.46% are female. And in terms of thousand, if we see, there are 1,000 males as per 1,000 males and 978 females. And the population density in this region is nearly about 270 is 270% per kilometer square, and the literacy rate is about 73%, and in which 82% males and 64% of females are literate. And the current portion of people who are still living under poverty line, which is 32%, which is improved in last 2 to 3 years from recent 54 years. And then comes the religious diversity in Odisha. The majority of population in this region follow Hinduism, which is almost about 94.35%. Then it is next followed by Christianity, which is 2.44%, and then by Muslims 2.07%. And Sikhism, Buddhism, and Jainism are combinedly followed of only about 0.1% in this region, and remaining 1.4% are considered to be irreligious or following any other kind of religions. And then comes the language of Odisha. And in this region, the official language is Odia, and it is almost spoken by 82.7% of the total population. And this Odia language is also one of the 6 classical languages of India. and English is official language, which is used in between, mostly used in between the state and central government. The Odia is not a homogeneous language of a single dialect. It also have many other dialects, which is easily found in this region are Sambalpuri, Katki, Puri, Baleswari, Ganjami, Desai, and Fulbani. And in addition to Odia, there are also some major language followed in this region, which are most common Hindi, Telugu, Urdu, and Bengali. And here also some Adivasi communities have their own language, and which is mostly belonging to the Dravidian family language. And some major language of this some major Adivasi languages in this region are Santali, Ku, and Ho. And uh, due to increase in contact with outsiders, migration, and socio-economic reason, these indigenous languages are now getting extinct. And now from here, I would like to call Jyoti to explain about culture of Odisha. And thank you.
Thank you, Subhaprakash. Good afternoon to one and all present here. I am Jyotirmay Mahanti. Now I am going to discuss about the culture of Odisha, music of Odisha. ओडिशा स्टेट में म्यूजिक 2000 साल और उससे भी पुराना रह चुका है। पहले से ही म्यूजिक था और ये 5 कैटेगराइज है, लाइक ट्राइबल म्यूजिक, फोक म्यूजिक, लाइट क्लासिकल म्यूजिक एंड क्लासिकल म्यूजिक। After that, some dance forms of Odisha. Next slide. Subhaprakash, next slide. Popular dance forms of Odisha. In Odisha dance. Odisha dance में क्या होता है? ये एक उड़ीसा का क्लासिकल डांस है और ये भगवान जगन्नाथ यानी कि श्री मंदिर से ये डांस फॉर्म आया है। और ये सिर्फ उड़ीसा में फेमस नहीं है, ये वर्ल्ड फेमस है और इंटरनेशनल में भी ये डांस परफॉर्म किया जाता है। फिर उसके बाद आता है संबलपुरी डांस। संबलपुरी डांस एक फोक डांस है और ये वेस्टर्न उड़ीसा में बहुत फेमस है। गोटीपुआ डांस ये क्लासिकल डांस है जो कि ओडिसी डांस का एक पार्ट है। इसमें क्या होता है कि जो लड़के लोग होते हैं वो लड़कियां के कपड़े पहनकर भगवान जगन्नाथ और कृष्ण जी के आराधना करते हैं और उनके डांस फॉर्म की तरह लाइक पोस्चर और गेस्चर जैसे मंदिर में मूर्ति वगैरह होता है उसके जैसा दिखाते हैं वो लोग स्टंट्स और सर्कस करके। फिर उसके बाद शुभप्रकाश नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। फिर उसके बाद आता है छऊ डांस। छऊ डांस एक ट्रेडिशनल डांस फॉर्म है। ये ओडिशा में ट्रेडिशनल मतलब कोई फेस्टिवल हो तो इसको किया जाता है, वो भी रूरल एरिया में बहुत फेमस है। फिर आता है चैती घोड़ा डांस। चैती घोड़ा डांस एक हॉर्स डांस इसको बोलते हैं। इसमें क्या होता है कि एक घोड़ा का जैसा मतलब हॉर्स का जैसा एक कस्ट्यूम बनाया जाता है, उसमें लोग घुस के घोड़ा बन के डांस करते हैं। इसको हम 15 अगस्त और 26 जनवरी में दिल्ली और उड़ीसा में जो भी पैरेड होता है इसको दिखाया जाता है। इसको हम चैती घोड़ा डांस बोलते हैं। फिर आता है दंडा नाचा। दंडा नाचा में क्या होता है कि जो भी भगवान शिव जी के भक्त होते हैं वो लोग आग के झूले में चलकर डांस करते हैं और ये गंजाम डिस्ट्रिक्ट में बहुत फेमस है। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। Festive season in Odisha. In 12 months we celebrate 13 festival. Autumn season में आता है दुर्गा पूजा। दुर्गा पूजा में क्या होता है कि ये एक 10 दिन का फेस्टिवल होता है और ये ओडिया मंथ में इसको आश्विन मंथ बोलते हैं। और दुर्गा पूजा किस लिए सेलिब्रेट किया जाता है ये तो आप सभी लोगों को पता ही होगा। फिर उसके बाद आता है काली पूजा। काली पूजा ठीक दुर्गा पूजा के बाद आता है और ये भी आश्विन मंथ यानी कि अक्टूबर मंथ में आता है। ये उड़ीसा का केउंझर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में बहुत फेमस है। फिर आता है कुमार पूर्णिमा।
कुमार पूर्णिमा भी आश्विन मंथ और ये सितंबर और अक्टूबर के बीच में आता है। कुमार पूर्णिमा में क्या होता है कि जो लड़कियां लोग अनमैरिड लड़कियां होती है वो एक आइडियल पति और अच्छा पति पाने के लिए ये पूजा करते हैं। इसको हम कुमार पूर्णिमा बोलते हैं। और कुमार कार्तिक, भगवान कार्तिकेय का जन्म हुआ था कुमार पूर्णिमा के दिन, और वो भी बहुत सुंदर देवता है और उनका नाम कुमार है, तो इसीलिए हम कुमार पूर्णिमा बोलते हैं। फिर आता है दीपावली। दीपावली तो बहुत ही फेमस है, आप सभी लोगों को पता ही होगा कि दीपावली क्यों सेलिब्रेट किया जाता है। ये कार्तिक अमावस्या में आता है। उड़ीसा का स्पेशलिटी ये है कि दीपावली में हम जो उड़िया लोग होते हैं, हम अपने फोर फादर को कॉल करने के लिए बड़ा बढ़िया वर्ष में बुलाते हैं। फिर आता है विंटर सीजन। विंटर सीजन में आता है प्रथमाष्टमी। प्रथमाष्टमी इसलिए सेलिब्रेट होता है कि जो हमारे पेरेंट्स लोग होते हैं, उनका जो पहला बच्चा होता है, फर्स्ट बॉर्न चाइल्ड, उसका लॉन्ग लाइफ के लिए वो लोग ये पूजा करते हैं। इसका स्पेशलिटी है कि यहाँ मतलब ये फेस्टिवल में एंडूरी पिठा होता है, ये एक स्वीट डिश है। फिर आता है स्प्रिंग सीजन। स्प्रिंग सीजन में बसंत पंचमी यानी कि सरस्वती पूजा, ये जनवरी और फरवरी में आता है, माघ मंथ में आता है। और सरस्वती देवी तो विद्या की देवी है, तो इंस्टीट्यूशन में ये ज्यादा पूजा किया जाता है। फिर आता है महाशिवरात्रि। महाशिवरात्रि मार्गशीर मंथ में आता है, यानी कि मार्च के महीने में। ये क्या होता है कि जो भी भगवान शिव जी का आशीर्वाद पाने के लिए सभी लोग दिन भर उपवास रहते हैं और रात भर उजागर रह के उसके बाद वाले दिन जो पहला सुबह होता है, उसी दिन अपना खाना ग्रहण करते हैं। फिर आता है दोलो यात्रा यानी कि होली। होली तो आप सब लोगों को पता ही होगा कि होली बहुत ही मजेदार फेस्टिवल है और सब लोग एंजॉय करते हैं होली को। लेकिन उड़ीसा में उड़िया लोगों का स्पेशलिटी है दोलो पूर्णिमा। इसको दोलो यात्रा भी बोलते हैं। दोलो पूर्णिमा में क्या होता है कि भगवान जगन्नाथ का एक और नाम भी है, जो उनको हम लोग दोलो गोविंदो बोलते हैं, उनके नाम से ही दोलो यात्रा है। इसमें क्या होता है, भगवान जी अपने विमान में बैठ के सब लोगों के घर जाते हैं और वहां पे जो कुछ भी बनाया होगा प्रसाद के रूप से देते हैं, भगवान उसको ग्रहण करते हैं। इसको हम दोलो यात्रा बोलते हैं। फिर आता है समर सीजन में आता है रथ यात्रा। रथ यात्रा बहुत फेमस है, सब पूरा उड़ीसा में फेमस है, लेकिन स्पेशली पुरी में ये बहुत फेमस है। भगवान जगन्नाथ, बलभद्र और माँ सुभद्रा 9 दिन के लिए अपने मासी के घर जाते हैं, श्री मंदिर से गुंडीचा मंदिर। इनको रथ में इनको लोग पुलिस और पंडित लोग और जो भी उनके भक्त होते हैं, सब रस्सी से खींच के उनको श्री मंदिर से गुंडीचा मंदिर तक लाते हैं। और उनका जो नीति नियम होता है वो 9 दिन तक ऐसे ही चलता है। फिर आता है मानसून सीजन में आता है गणेश चतुर्थी। महाराष्ट्र में बहुत फेमस है। ये तो आप सभी लोगों को पता ही होगा कि गणेश चतुर्थी गणेश जी का जन्मदिन को गणेश चतुर्थी मानते हैं और ये एक हिंदू फेस्टिवल है। गणेश चतुर्थी में क्या होता है कि यहाँ पे मतलब उड़ीसा में एक जगह है खोर्धा रोड जटनी करके, वहां पे गणेश पूजा बहुत फेमस है। मुंबई में जैसे सेलिब्रेट होता है गणेश पूजा, वहां पे भी वैसे बड़े धूमधाम से गणेश पूजा को सेलिब्रेट किया जाता है। फिर आता है रीजनल फेस्टिवल में आता है रज पर्व एक 3 दिन का फेस्टिवल होता है। आषाढ़ के महीने में आता है, ये जून और जुलाई के मिड में आता है। इसमें क्या होता है कि जो 3 दिन रहता है, ये 3 दिन में कोई भी वसुमाता यानी कि अर्थ गॉडेस का कोई भी मतलब एग्रीकल्चरल कृषि का काम यहाँ पे नहीं होता है। और ये 3 दिन को हम पहली रज और सेकेंड डे को रज संक्रांति और थर्ड रज को शेष रज बोलते हैं। और रज के टाइम पे सभी लड़कियां झूला झूलते हैं, नए कपड़े पहनते हैं और बहुत मजे करते हैं। और जो भी फैमिली मेंबर रहते हैं वो पत्ता खेलते हैं और कबड्डी भी खेलते हैं। और रज का स्पेशलिटी है पोड़ो पिठा एंड मीठा पान। पोड़ो पिठा एक स्वीट डिश है। फिर आता है बाली यात्रा यानी कि कार्तिक पूर्णिमा। बाली यात्रा कार्तिक पूर्णिमा में आता है। बाली यात्रा कटक डिस्ट्रिक्ट में बहुत फेमस है। महानदी के किनारे ये सेलिब्रेट होता है और इसमें क्या होता है कि ये माना जाता है कि उड़ीसा से बाली तक सभी लोग थ्रू बोट, मतलब जो भी मर्चेंट लोग होते हैं वो बिजनेस करते थे थ्रू बोट उड़ीसा टू बाली। तो इसी दिन हम बोट को बोईतो बोलते हैं और इसको बोईतो बंदाना उत्सव भी हम बोलते हैं। और बाली यात्रा भी 10 या 11 दिन सेलिब्रेट होता है। बहुत बड़ा मेला जैसा होता है, सब लोग घूमने आते हैं, बाहर से भी लोग घूमने आते हैं और बहुत अच्छा लगता है। फिर आता है सेंट्रल उड़ीसा में आता है गजलक्ष्मी पूजा। गजलक्ष्मी पूजा केंद्रापड़ा और ढेंकानाला में बहुत फेमस है और ये 11 दिन का फेस्टिवल होता है। फिर आते हैं वेस्टर्न उड़ीसा। वेस्टर्न उड़ीसा में नुआखाई बहुत फेमस है। नुआखाई में क्या होता है, जो हम लोग जैसे धान का पौधा उगता है तो धान फल निकलता है, तो धान को इस नया धान जो निकलता है इसको हम पांडी धान बोलते हैं। पांडी धान जब निकलता है तो संबलपुरी मतलब वेस्टर्न उड़ीसा के लोग जब निकलता है वो उन लोगों का खुशियां कुछ अलग तरह के होते हैं। जब पांडी धान निकलता है तो उन लोगों का नाच गाना शुरू हो जाता है, मानो उन लोगों का त्योहार जैसा है। लेकिन ये बहुत अच्छे से सेलिब्रेट होता है और यहाँ पे एक मतलब गवर्नमेंट हॉलीडे भी रहता है। फिर आता है शीतल षष्ठी। शीतल षष्ठी भगवान शिव जी और माता पार्वती का विवाह को हम लोग शीतल षष्ठी बोलते हैं और ये गंजाम और बरहमपुर साउथ उड़ीसा में बहुत फेमस है। फिर आता है धनु यात्रा। धनु यात्रा वर्ल्ड फेमस है। धनु यात्रा जनवरी 1 से जनवरी 11 तक सेलिब्रेट होता है। धनु यात्रा एक ओपन एयर स्टेज में होता है जहाँ पे मतलब भगवान कृष्ण के जन्म तक और किंग कंस की मृत्यु सब एक नाटक के माध्यम में दिखाया जाता है। और ये वर्ल्ड फेमस इसीलिए है क्योंकि बाहर से भी लोग आते हैं यहाँ पे परफॉर्म करने के लिए, चाहे वो डांस हो, म्यूजिक सब कुछ यहाँ पे होता है। और यहाँ का एक स्पेशल है मथुरा केक, जो भी भगवान श्री कृष्ण को बहुत पसंद है। ये एक स्वीट डिश है। और धनु यात्रा का एक बड़ा मतलब धनु यात्रा 10 या 11 दिन चलता है और एक बड़ा मेला जैसा लगता है। सभी लोग आते हैं घूमने के लिए और बहुत सारे गेम्स भी होते हैं खेलने के लिए। और ऐसे ही धनु यात्रा खत्म होता है। For further proceeding, now I would like to call Subhakant for further proceeding.
Thank you Jyoti for passing me the slide. उड़ीसा के क्विजीन्स के बारे में बताने से पहले मैं ये बताना चाहूँगा कि उड़ीसा की क्विजीन्स की शुरुआत हमारे पूरी टेम्पल श्री जगन्नाथ मंदिर से हुआ है। कहते हैं वहाँ पे हर दिन 10,000 लोगों के लिए खाना बनता है, जो कि 752 चूल्हों पे बनता है जो लकड़ी से जलते हैं। 1000 शेफ्स होते हैं और कहते हैं कि यहाँ पे जो 21 बड़े बर्तनों में चावल बनता है जिसे हम अभड़ा कहते हैं, वो जगन्नाथ जी को चढ़ाने के बाद ही बाकी भक्तों में एज ए भोग बनता है। यहाँ पे अलग अलग तरह की मिठाइयाँ हैं, लेकिन लॉर्ड जगन्नाथ का जो 56 भोग होता है वो सबसे पावन धाम का एक सबसे बड़ा अनमोल एवं सबसे खूबसूरत तोहफा है जो लॉर्ड जगन्नाथ ने हम उड़ीसा वासियों को दिया है। कहते हैं अगर आपने उड़ीसा आए और 56 भोग नहीं खाए तो शायद आपकी ट्रिप और आपका जो एडवेंचर है उड़ीसा में वो कंप्लीट नहीं होगा। कहते हैं अगर आपको किसी के बारे में जानना हो, पहचानना हो उसे, या फिर किसी स्टेट के बारे में सब कुछ मालूम करना हो तो आपको उसके क्विजीन्स को मालूम करना चाहिए। तो शुरुआत करते हैं उड़ीसा के क्विजीन्स से। उड़ीसा में अलग अलग तरह के बनते हैं क्विजीन्स। हम सब इस पीपीटी में कवर नहीं कर पाए, लेकिन कुछ जैसे कि पहाड़ा का रसगुल्ला जो कि वर्ल्ड फेमस है और कहते हैं कि इट इज़ द मोस्ट स्पॉन्जिएस्ट रसगुल्ला दैट उड़ीसा हैज एवर गिफ्टेड टू वर्ल्ड। उसके बाद दालमा जो कि एक बहुत हेल्दी रेसिपी होता है जिसमें दाल और कई तरह के सिलेक्टेड वेजिटेबल्स होते हैं जो कि काफ़ी हेल्दी होते हैं और मेनली ये सात्विक भोजन का एक बहुत खास हिस्सा होता है। तो हम कुछ लोकल स्पेशलिटीज आपके लिए लाए हैं जिसको जो टॉप 10 लिस्ट में है, जिसको खाए बिना आप उड़ीसा से जा ही नहीं सकते। सो प्लीज स्टार्टिंग विद द चिंगुड़ी मलाई। चिंगुड़ी मलाई एक नॉनवेज डिश है जो कि प्रॉन से बनता है, जो कोकोनट मिल्क को मिला के और कुछ डिलीशियस स्पाइस मिक्स को लेके बनता है। कहते हैं जब इसको आप अपने मुंह में रखते हो तो ये एक मलाई या फिर एक क्रीमी कंसिस्टेंसी में घुल जाता है। और ये इतना खूबसूरत और एक अच्छा प्लीजेंट स्मेल देता है कि आप जब इसको खाओगे आप खो जाओगे, आपको सराउंडिंग से कोई मतलब ही नहीं रहेगा। उसके बाद आता है माछा घंटा। माछा घंटा दशहरा के समय एक भोग की तरह माँ दुर्गा को चढ़ाया जाता है। कहते हैं जब दुर्गा माँ ने कई असुरों का वध किया था तब ये घाटा उनके सामने पेश हुआ था। पर हर जगह अलग अलग मान्यताओं की वजह से इसको अलग अलग फॉर्म में दिखाया जाता है। कुछ मछली से बनाते हैं, कुछ चिकन से बनाते हैं, कुछ मटन से, और कुछ लोग वेज भी खिलाते हैं। कहते हैं ये भोग के रूप में एक पहला ऐसा डिश है जिसको हम भगवान को देते हैं इन द फॉर्म ऑफ ए नॉनवेज डिश। और ये सबसे खूबसूरत तब होता है जब ये पूजा के समय ही बनता है। उसके बाद अगला स्लाइड प्लीज। डालमा, जिसका जिक्र मैंने कुछ देर पहले किया था। डालमा एक बहुत ही हेल्दी डिश है जो आपके बॉडी पे काफी अच्छा मैजिक, एक अच्छा प्रभाव डालता है। ये आपके डाइजेशन के लिए बहुत अच्छा होता है, आपके इम्यून पावर के लिए बहुत अच्छा होता है, क्योंकि इसमें मैक्सिमम वेजिटेबल्स होते हैं जैसे कि पंपकिन, प्लांटेन, यम, पपाया, जो आपको हर तरह का एनर्जी देते हैं। बट एज इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ सात्विक भोजन, तो इसमें ऑनियन और गार्लिक कभी ऐड नहीं होता। ये भगवान के छप्पर, मैंने कहा था अभड़ा, के साथ परोसा जाता है। ये अलग अलग दाल से बनता है, लेकिन रोस्टेड मूंग दाल से जो बनता है वही भगवान को चढ़ाया जाता है। फिर आता है पखाड़ा भाता। पखाड़ा के नाम पे एक दिवस भी मनाया जाता है जिसको हम पखाड़ा दिवस भी कहते हैं। ये बेसिकली समर में खाया हुआ डिश है। ये आपके बॉडी को हर तरह से ठंडा कर देता है क्योंकि ये फर्मेंटेड राइस से बनता है। राइस, जो कुक्ड राइस को हम एक रात पहले पानी में और दही में भिगो के रखते हैं ताकि सुबह तक इसका सावर टेस्ट, इसका फर्मेंटेशन इसको इतना ठंडा बना दे कि हम जब इसको खाएं तो हमारे बॉडी का जो हीट और टेम्परेचर सब मेंटेन रहे। पर इसको अकेले नहीं खा सकते, तो इसके साथ पोटैटो फ्राइड्स, कभी का फिश, पापड़ या फिर बड़ियां जो कि उड़द दाल से बनती हैं, उन्हें सर्व किया जाता है। कहते हैं पखाड़ को सिर्फ खाया नहीं जाता बल्कि उनको पिया भी जाता है, क्योंकि इसका जो वाटर निकलता है वो वाटर इतना टेस्टी और इतना गाढ़ा होता है, तो शायद आपको कभी कभार ट्रैंक्विलाइजर्स या फिर अगर आपको कभी नींद की प्रॉब्लम हो, आप इसे खाइए, आप सो जाएंगे, इसकी गारंटी हम देते हैं। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। संतुला. Santula is the most uniform and the most compacted mixture of veggies in which the raw blend of papaya, tomato and brinjal is been added. कहते हैं उड़िया में इसको जब हम लोग खाना शुरू करते हैं तो ये कुछ लोग कहते थे कि ये पहले बीमारों का खाना है, पर अगर आप इसको खाना चाहते हो तो आपको बीमार होने की जरूरत नहीं है, पर आप इसको खाओगे तो इतनी तो गारंटी है कि आपको कभी कोई बीमारी नहीं होगी। इसमें कई तरह के फ्राइड और बॉइल्ड वेजिटेबल्स होते हैं जो आपके हेल्थ को अलग तरह से बेनिफिट्स करते हैं। इसे एक शेयरिंग का मोटिव भी माना जाता है। कहते हैं कि इट इज द मोस्ट इजीएस्ट फॉर्म ऑफ डिश विच इज मेड टू शेयर अमंग योर पीपल्स सो दैट द हैप्पीनेस स्टेज अराउंड यू फॉर एवर आफ्टर। फिर आता है दही बड़ा आलू दम। कहते हैं ये कटक का मैजिक है। इसको खाने के बाद आप हर उस चीज को भूल जाते हो जो आपने कभी जिंदगी में खाया हो। कहते हैं कि इसमें एक अलग तरह का फ्रेग्रेंस और जादू है जो इसकी तरफ लोगों को हमेशा आकर्षित करता है। कभी कभार लोग अगर चाहे तो अपना मील स्किप कर सकते हैं, लेकिन अगर वो दही बड़ा आलूदम के पास भी है तो वो इसे कभी स्किप नहीं कर सकते। अगर आप कंटिन्यूअसली सालों तक चाहे तो दही बड़ा आलूदम खा सकते हैं, लेकिन आप उसके बदले में कुछ और खाएंगे तो आप शायद आपको मन नहीं करेगा। तो इट इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट पॉपुलर स्ट्रीट फूड्स यू हैव एवर एट इन उड़ीसा, और इसके चलते आप हर उस चीज को हमेशा याद करोगे जो आप उसने उड़ीसा में देखा है। उसके बाद आता है छेनापोड़ा। छेनापोड़ा हमारे उड़ीसा का कॉमन चीज केक है और लॉर्ड जगन्नाथ का सबसे फेवरेट चीज केक है। कहते हैं कि रॉ चीज या फिर पनीर से बनता है और ये सबसे ज्यादा स्वीट होता है, इतना स्वीट कि आपके मुंह में पानी ला सकता है सिर्फ इसके फ्रेग्रेंस से ही। ये हमेशा से एक ऐसा डिश रहा है जिसको पूरी टेम्पल में हर भक्त को सर्व किया जाता है, क्योंकि उनको जगन्नाथ जी का आशीर्वाद इसी के थ्रू मिलता है। कहते हैं जब जगन्नाथ जी इसको टेस्ट करते हैं तो वो हर तरह के अपने भक्त को उस समय एक ऐसा आशीर्वाद देते हैं कि उनकी जिंदगी में भी इसी स्वीट की तरह मिठास भरी रहे। फिर आता है रसाबली, जो कि ओडिशा के केंद्रापड़ा डिस्ट्रिक्ट में बनता है। कहते हैं 56 भोग का ये एक ऐसा खास हिस्सा है जिसके बिना 56 भोग की हर एक डिश को आप इनकम्प्लीट मान सकते हैं। कहते हैं ये सबसे आखिर में भले ही खाया जाता है, लेकिन इसे खाए बिना 56 भोग का स्वाद आपके मुंह में कभी सही से नहीं आएगा। ये बेसिकली एक मिठाई को हम कंडेंस मिल्क में कार्डमम और कुछ डिफरेंट अलग स्वीट स्पाइसेस के साथ मिलाकर बनाते हैं, ताकि जब ये आपके मुंह में घुले तो घुलता ही रह जाए और आपका मन और जीवन इतना शांत हो जाए जैसे आपके साथ कोई कुछ बुरा हुआ ही ना हो आज तक। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। चौकुली पिठा, जिसे कभी कभार लोग डोसा से भी मिसअंडरस्टूड करते हैं, पर चौकुली पिठा एक्चुअली उड़द दाल और राइस का एक अनयूनिफॉर्म मिक्सचर से बनता है। ये काफी थिक होता है, स्पॉन्जी होता है और लोग इसे बड़े चाव से खाते हैं। कहते हैं जब आप उड़ीसा में हो और आप चकुली पिठा ना खाओ तो शायद आपके मुंह का टेस्ट इतना अच्छा ना रहे, क्योंकि लोग कभी कभी कहते हैं ये एक डोसा है, पर ये डोसा से कहीं बेहतर है। हर तरह के रिनाउंड डिश के साथ आप इसको खा सकते हैं। ये एज ए वेज, एज ए नॉन वेज डिश हर तरह से सर्व हो सकता है और आपको इसको खाने के लिए कोई बहाना नहीं चाहिए, आप इसे कभी भी खा सकते हो। फिर आता है आखिर में रसगुल्ला, जो कि एक उड़ीसा का ऐसा स्वीट है जिसको उड़ीसा का बनने में काफी साल लगा, उसे जीआई टैग मिलने में बहुत साल लगा और इसको हम खीरा मोहन भी जानते हैं। कहते हैं लॉर्ड जगन्नाथ को उनकी मौसी खिलाती थी, तो इसकी मिठास हमेशा उनके जीवन में और हम सबके जीवन में एक मिठास घोल देती है। इट इज द मोस्ट परफेक्ट बैलेंस ऑफ एवरीथिंग। With this, I end my PPT of cuisines. Now I would like to call Manik to explain further on sports. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Subhagant. It was very nice and it was very interesting, by the way. A very good afternoon to all. I'm Manik Das from CVRGU, and now coming to sports in Odisha. Sports is a very important part of the culture of Odisha, and hence it plays a key role in development of the state. The most popularly played games in Odisha are cricket, kabaddi, athletic, kho-kho, mati kusti, tennis, rugby, etc. And the recent events that took place in Odisha are Hockey Championship Trophy 2014, Hockey Indian League 2014, 15, 16, 17, FIH Hockey World League 2017, and Asian Athletic Championship 2017, etc. So like this, Odisha has its own reputation in providing national and international level players in last couple of years. Also, there are many sports persons who have earned a good name for the state. And nowadays, the state is hosting many national and international games and sports to show interest for the development of the state. So now I would like to call Pratyush Bhaiya to share his views on various tourist places in Odisha. Pratyush Bhaiya, please.
Hello. Hello, Shubhakant.
Yes, sir.
Can you finish it within 2 minutes? This is the last part, I guess so. You explain tourism and
Yes,
just finish
sir,
in 2 minutes, okay?
Yes, Subhakant, just get it done.
Yes,
Complete the PPT, beta.
Shubhakant, you can continue with the tourism itself.
ओ लगता है प्रत्युष भैया नहीं है।
You continue.
No problem, आप खत्म कर लो।
ठीक है मैम। टूरिज्म
हेलो
प्रत्युष भैया।
हाँ सॉरी मैम, थोड़ा नेटवर्क इशू था मैम, सॉरी।
No problem, बेटा, no problem.
ओके मैम।
आप बोलोगे?
ओके, यस मैम, आई कैन कंटिन्यू।
ओके, चलो, हाँ।
सो एज वी नो टूरिज्म सबको अच्छा लगता है, घूमना फिरना सबको अच्छा लगता है, और हमको ये भी पता है कि गवर्नमेंट इस चीज में ज्यादा रेवेन्यू एंड टैक्स कलेक्ट करता है, बिकॉज टूरिज्म है ही ऐसा चीज, सबको घूमना फिरना अच्छा लगता है। तो उड़ीसा में बहुत ही ऐसे घूमने के जगह है, बहुत ही ऐसा हिस्टोरिकल प्लेसेस हैं, गॉड एंड गॉडेस प्लेसेस हैं, और उड़ीसा को गॉड एंड गॉडेस के नाम, स्टेट के भी नाम में जाना जाता है। सो आप अगर कोई भी सिटी जाते हो, बड़ा या छोटा नॉट मैटर, आप कोई भी सिटी जाते हो, इवन आप कोई भी एरिया जाते हो, तो आपको वहाँ पे मंदिर तो मिल ही जाएंगे। आप कोई भी एरिया जाइए, कोई भी गली जाइए, कोई भी एरिया जाइए, आपको मंदिर तो मिल ही जाएंगे। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं। पहला हमारा जो टूरिस्ट प्लेस है, फेमस टूरिस्ट प्लेस है, श्री जगन्नाथ मंदिर पुरी। So as you all know that Jagannath Mandir is quite well known place throughout the world, और ये फेमस है काट फेस्टिवल के लिए, जो अभी रिसेंटली हुआ है, मतलब मीन्स चल रहा है। एंड काट फेस्टिवल इज द मीन्स पुरी में बहुत फेमस है, एंड इसको देखने के लिए वर्ल्ड के चारों ओर से टूरिस्ट आते हैं। और मैं आपको एक अच्छा किस्सा बताता हूँ पुरी जगन्नाथ का। ये सम 200 फीट लॉन्ग है, इसका हाइट है, एंड ये टोटली बरीड किया गया था ग्राउंड में। इसका जो कंस्ट्रक्शन हुआ था, एंड ये बरीड था टोटली ग्राउंड में। जब एक राजा अपने घोड़े के ऊपर जा रहा था, तभी क्या हुआ, घोड़े का पैर मंदिर का टिप पे लगा, जो कॉपर का है, टिप पे लगा। एंड जब राजा उतर के देखा कि कुछ लोहे का है उधर, तो खोदना स्टार्ट किया। तो खोदा बहुत डेप्थ में था। देन वो अपना वर्कर लगा के करना शुरू किया। देन वो देखा कि एक 200 सम फीट का मंदिर निकल के आया। सो ये है हिस्ट्री पूरी मंदिर का, जो कि बहुत ही होली प्लेस है हिंदू के लिए, बहुत ही अच्छा जगह है। तो सेकेंडली आते हैं कोणार्क सूर्य मंदिर में, जो कि सिचुएटेड है 35 किलोमीटर फ्रॉम पुरी, जो कि कोस्टल एरिया में गिरता है ओडिशा का। एंड ये बहुत ही अच्छा जगह एंड ब्यूटीफुल प्लेस है। इसको बनाया गया था सूर्य मंदिर के नाम पे। एंड ये टोटली बना है बड़े बड़े पत्थर्स एंड आयरन से, और इसके ऊपर में एक बड़ा सा राउंड स्फेरिकल मैग्नेट लगाया गया था, ताकि स्टोन एंड आयरन का अच्छा बॉन्डिंग हो और आयरन स्टोन को पकड़ के रखे। जब ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट मैग्नेट को ले गई, तब टोटल मंदिर बिखर के गिर गया। सो ये हिस्ट्री है कोणार्क का, एंड बहुत ही अच्छा प्लेस है। एंड सर प्लीज नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। सर नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। थैंक यू सर। एंड नेक्स्ट टूरिस्ट प्लेस है, बहुत फेमस टूरिस्ट प्लेस है ये, उदयगिरी एंड खंडगिरी। खंडगिरी प्रॉपरली सिचुएटेड इन भुवनेश्वर के अंदर जाता है ये, और ये बिल्ड किया गया था 1st सेंचुरी के आसपास। एंड ये खंडगिरी चौक के बस 1 किलोमीटर के अपार्ट में गिरता है। एंड ये उदयगिरी एंड खंडगिरी बोथ आर टू हिल्स दैट मीन्स अंदर उसमें बनाया गया था केव्स। बहुत सारे केव्स हैं जहाँ पे कि ऋषि मुनि जो पहले होते थे, वो लोग अंदर जाके तपस्या करते थे अपने गॉड को। सो नेक्स्ट है नंदनकानन जूलॉजिकल पार्क, एंड ये एक नेशनल पार्क है, एंड ये फैला है 1080 एकर्स में, एंड बोटेनिकल गार्डन इन भुवनेश्वर। एंड ये एस्टेब्लिश किया गया था 1960 एंड पब्लिकली ओपन किया गया 1979 में। और ये इंडिया का पहला जू है जिसमें जो वर्ल्ड एसोसिएशन ऑफ जू एंड एक्वेरियम इन 2009 में हुआ था। एंड इट कंटेन बोटेनिकल गार्डन एंड पार्ट, और इसका एक पार्ट डिक्लेयर किया गया है सेंचुरी में। एंड नंदनकानन लिटरली मीनिंग द गार्डन ऑफ हेवन, जो कि प्रसिद्ध है गार्डन ऑफ हेवन के नाम से। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड सर। तो नेक्स्ट है सिमलीपाल नेशनल पार्क। ये नेशनल पार्क है और ये कवर करता है 2750 किलोमीटर स्क्वायर, एंड ये गिरता है मयूरभंज एलिफेंट रिजर्व में। मयूरभंज में है, जो रिजर्व भी है इसमें। एंड इसमें सिमलीपाल टाइगर रिजर्व भी है, और उसमें हरगढ़ वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी जो कि 191 किलोमीटर स्क्वायर में, एंड कुलदीहा वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी, जो कि 272.75 किलोमीटर स्क्वायर में फैला हुआ है। एंड और इसमें है चिलिका लेक। चिलिका लेक भी क्वाइट फेमस है, एंड दिस इज अ brackish water lagoon spread over Puri, Khurda and Ganjam district, the Odisha state on east coast of India, at the mouth of Daya river and flowing into the Bay of Bengal, covering the area 1100 किलोमीटर। सो आपको अगर कोई भी मीन्स जाते हो, कोई भी लेक में जाएंगे या फिर रिवर में जाएंगे, आपको हर जगह फिश दिखेंगे, बट यहाँ पे आपको बोट में अगर 3-4 आवर का आप जर्नी लेते हो तो यहाँ पे आपको डॉल्फिन ही डॉल्फिन दिखेंगे, जो कि हमेशा जंप करेंगे और आपको बहुत अच्छा लगेगा। नेक्स्ट आते हैं हिराकू डैम। ये दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा अर्दन डैम है, अबाउट 53 किलोमीटर लॉन्ग है। ओके, देन आफ्टर इंडिपेंडेंस देन आता है दारिंगबाड़ी, जो कि विंटर सीजन में कश्मीर भी बोला जाता है। सो दैट्स ऑल इन this that's all in today's presentation। as that Odisha के बारे में बहुत कुछ है, but we can't cover all the things in 1 or 2 hours, so that's all in today's presentation। thank you so much।
Thank you so much, the students of Senior Government College of Engineering. I think almost sitting here at our places in Maharashtra, we have taken a tour of Odisha. And trust me, the mouth-watering dishes and cuisines which you have told reminded us of that it is lunchtime, because but surely I think dalma and chena poda, it's too good. I mean, just by look of it, it seems very tasty. Okay, so just anything which anything you would like to ask from your side, or shall we go ahead with vote of thanks?
Ma'am, actually there was only I was going through the chat box, and it's so nice that I think one of your faculties have pointed out to cover the Sambalpuri sari in the tourism, and as well as the Dhauligiri, that is Peace Pagoda. Well, I would just like to just give a short indication on that. When our students started with the history of Odisha, that they were indicating about the Kalinga War. So there were a lot of casualties, and there were a lot of death and despair and misery, and just to hold it as a memorial, the Ashoka Emperor, he established that Dhaulagiri on the foothills. It is it's very close to Bhubaneswar, and it's actually known as the Peace Pagoda. So that is actually an indication, it's a symbol of the war, which the students has indicated in the first slide, that is the history of Odisha. And yes, Sambalpuri sari is very famous, and it's almost everywhere. It's available in Odisha handloom markets, and not only just handloom markets, but also in almost all the sari shops, if you can see. And yes, our students have missed out. I mean, they have not gone into the details of other folk dance. So there are Sambalpuri dance, which is also very popular folk dance, and it's a custom to wear the Sambalpuri sari while performing that dance, and it's very beautiful. And it's the cotton, the material which they use to to make that sari is very comfortable. Yes, and that's it from my end. And thank you. I again wish to thank all my students. The speech was wonderful and very enjoyable. You all were extremely cute and very informative. And all the best. All the best.
I think Soumya Basu madam is also there, and she could relate more of Rasagulla and Chena Poda. She feels like she could have been in Bengal.
I think she has visited. Soumya Basu ma'am, have you visited Odisha before?
I am from West Bengal, so I have visited Odisha many times, and I'm a big fan of Sambalpuri sari and Puri and Konark temple. Konark temple is a very nice place and very historical place, which is not possible to cover in this 1 hour time. So Odisha and Maharashtra, actually, I visited Odisha many times, and currently I stay in Maharashtra. Both of the states, they actually share a very, very rich history and cultural things, and both of the warrior states actually. So West Bengal, I would say Bengal doesn't have that much of history of war. But Odisha, they are very warrior, and Maharashtra, they are very courageous, and there is a warrior spirit. So I love both of the cultures actually, and both of the foods.
Yes. Yeah, food.
Thank you
That's
so
what.
much. Good.
Yeah,
From Maharashtra also, I would say ki why you guys didn't mention Paithani Shari and handloom culture you guys have.
So when we talk about culture, it never comes to an end because both
No.
both the states are
We
too
need a
rich.
4 to 5 hours to cover everything. All
Exactly,
in
it's too,
detail.
into deep, and our students have just packed up everything into one. And Maharashtra is also so
Really
much
appreciated, madam. I really appreciated. Your students have done extremely well, and I mean the whole session was very enjoyable.
Thank you. And Soumya Basu madam and Dr. Minal Wali is taking care of engineering division, that is engineering biotech division, and I am taking care of MBA management institute. So we jointly have organized this. Thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to call upon Akansha Mehta for a vote of thanks.
Okay. It's been a great privilege, ma'am, that I have been asked to propose vote of thanks for our first culture exchange program under the banner Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat with Dr. D.Y. Patil Vidyapit Global Business School and Research Center, and along with C.V. Raman College of Engineering, Bhubaneswar, Odisha. And I would like to thank the students of all the students. Like it was very teamwork, so very taken on a very positive behalf. So I would like to thank all the students of C.V. Raman College of Engineering who has enabled us to walk through very informative and mesmerizing culture of Odisha, and also the students from Global Business School and Research Center to display the beautiful culture of Maharashtra. And also, I would like to present my gracious thanks toward EBSB faculty coordinators, Dr. Soumya Mishra ma'am and Manish Sharma sir and entire team for taking such initiative to accomplish this event successfully. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Looking ahead to conduct many informative sessions more.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Definitely.
So we all three will be in contact with you for further engagements, if any.
Sure, ma'am.
Thank you so much for this wonderful Zoom meeting that we have done today successfully. In short notice, we have done this. So
yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all for joining us today and giving
Thank
your
you, ma'am.
precious time. Thank you, Manish.
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
ma'am.
Thank you.